Grilling the Candidates, and I'm here with Colby Gibson this evening. Colby, thanks for letting me grill you for the evening.
Absolutely, thank you for doing this.
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll see how good the food is, and we'll see if that thank you holds or not.
I know, right? We'll come back later.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about yourself. How long have you lived in Highland? Were you raised here or did you move here?
It's a great story. I was born in Jersey.
Okay.
But we moved here when I was 4.
Huh.
So honestly, I have been off and on with maybe 4 or 5 years not being here. Highland's always been here. I've lived in 4 neighborhoods in Highland.
Mm-hmm. You probably don't even remember Jersey. It's just
not at all.
Yeah.
And you can tell from the accent.
Right? Yeah. Can you fake a Jersey accent?
Not at all.
Not even, huh?
Oh, that's I would be better at Boston, like Boston or something like that, but no.
So your entire life here, went to school where?
I went to school, did a little bit of everything, ended up finishing at University of Phoenix. I did leave Utah for a short time, went out to Barry University in North Miami. I met my wife as a junior in high school.
Oh, wow.
Dated her seriously, dumped her my senior year. She'll never let me live that down, I know.
Sure.
Especially because I didn't take her to senior prom. I was going to, but someone else asked her first.
Oh. And serves you right.
Yeah. And back in those days, the polite thing was you said yes to whoever asked first. So, so luckily, after 2 years in Germany, I came back and she was still willing to let me do a sales job on her, and I did do a sales job on her, and
being the small business entrepreneur that you are,
exactly,
the most important pitch of your life.
Absolutely, and I did well. So I do. We then had 4 daughters and 1 son in that order. We just have a ball, and then recently I just got another son. My oldest just got married last August.
Oh, wow.
It's been really fun. And I was worried about that, right? You get 4 daughters, you're like, how am I going to like these guys?
Right.
But this guy comes along, and I'm like, wow, I had like 16 pages of questions I was going to ask, and I didn't do it. He's just a cool kid, yeah.
That's awesome.
He's great.
And what's your profession?
I am a small business consultant and also own a scuba diving shop with my brother and one
that's
partner.
exciting.
Yeah, that's the fun part. That's the fun job that everyone says, well, what about that?
I guess you get to travel a lot because otherwitely it's a desert.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. In fact, that's what we do. Yeah, everybody just tries to get out of here, and it goes crazy. It's funny, between Colorado and Utah, if you cut off California and Florida, you don't count them. We have more divers per capita than any other state.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so you train them, and they get the lessons, and then take them out for a little excursion?
Take them. We do trips all over the place. My favorite all time is Fiji. I've done that 3 times now. It's a rough life. But greatest shark dive ever, I believe, is in Fiji right now.
Oh, awesome. So, yeah, I'd love to go.
Absolutely, we'll take you.
Well, I don't know about the scuba diving, but I'll go.
You're not alone there. A lot of people go, I'm not sure, but we've had people that have been petrified, and we can help them get over it.
Yeah, so. Well, I don't know. Skydiving and rock climbing and all the rest of the stuff I'm really good with.
Yeah.
The scuba diving, I don't know. It's like that.
You could do those.
I didn't get to Hawaii until 2002, 2003 or something like that. That was the first time in my life I cared about what was under the water. Otherwise, I'm just afraid of it, and
That's fair.
I'll eat it if it's served properly.
Exactly. That is awesome. It's been this push in my mind, and just something I felt is really, really important. So I've served, probably, at least 18 years as a scoutmaster. And part of the reason for that is my dad was in the BSA forever too, and he said they're really good if you complain about things, of saying, I'm so glad you are anxious to get engaged and solve those problems. You can volunteer here and here and here, and they would bring you in. And so I learned, if you're going to whine about something,
going to get
you got to be willing to make something happen.
Yeah.
So for months and months, I've said I need to get more involved. Everybody's busy, and I get it. There's always stuff going on, But I finally decided, you know what, you make things a priority that need to be a priority, and I feel like this needs to be a priority. So
Excellent.
that was the process. I'll tell you, it was really funny because it went all the way up to the last day to sign in, where I was like, oh, I really should do this, I'm not sure, and thinking, contemplating, thinking about it, and finally said, hey, honey, I think I'm supposed to do this. And she's like, let me think about it. She comes down a little later and says, yeah, I think you can do that. And then I had a number of other people say the same thing. So
Awesome.
That's how we got here.
Well, I've seen you at city council meetings from time to time.
Definitely.
I always admire people who will take that on and consider it as an option in their lives.
You know, I think for Highland, we've done a pretty good job. I mean, they're doing good things as far as we're pretty conservative. We're not fiscally crazy. Honestly, some of the biggest concerns I have are things that were done on accident, I think. And that is, we have a lot of fees.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
They just keep going down. And a lot of people aren't aware, but I'm sure you are, of the Pleasant Grove issue with those fees, where they lost. It was deemed the tough tax. It was deemed a tax, not
right.
a fee.
It's like you can't do that.
Yeah.
And so now
so it's in appellate court now, but most of the attorneys I've spoken with are saying it's not going to fly.
Mm-hmm.
If that happens, then all of a sudden we find ourselves in a huge deficit and have to clean it up. And I'm not a big fan of waiting. You know, I'd rather jump in front of it and try and take care of it up front. And I think there's a lot of ways to do that we could do it without hurting people.
Uh-huh.
You know, we have a lot of all sorts of demographics here, but there's some great ways that we could get in and make sure we keep Highland without having a whole bunch of fees on your utility bill every time.
Right.
And I think something we haven't done yet is a lot of other counties and cities in particular are getting more creative. You know, instead of saying there's two ways to do it, fees or taxes, they're going, you know, there's a lot of people with a lot of money that would be very willing, I believe, to take on projects and have a legacy left in their name. And that's something, I'm a solution guy, okay? I'm the kind of guy that comes in and says, you're struggling getting here, let me help you get there, and you know, this is where you want to be, let's find all the steps to get you there. And for me, I'm looking going, we got all these things that we need help with, whether it's roads, whether it's you know, all the things that government should provide. And I guess that's probably the biggest thing, is I understand the limitations of government, okay? It's not the pursuit of happiness, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness does not mean guarantee of happiness.
Right.
It doesn't mean
be provided by the government.
Yeah. I mean, we need to understand that any tax funds that are taken are not. I mean, it's a forcible extraction. That is not something that you say, oh, we'll just raise more.
Right.
You know, they don't generate revenue. We do things for the necessary things that have to happen, and that is the roads and the fire and the police and those types of things. But there's a lot of other ways to get money, and I don't think cities traditionally look at that. You know, you can go to someone and say, hey, we want to do this and this and this in this park. And we'll put your name on it, John.
Right.
And say, and for the rest of your life, and your grandkids and grandkids can come and say, hey, this is our park. You know, and I think, I mean, it's a city park, but
but
we
I've
made
seen
it.
that before. Where, you have a beneficiary, you have somebody who puts the money up.
And we don't do that. And I don't know why. So I want to do that.
That's a clever idea. Other issues that you see that Highland...
We're doing pretty good. It's the rest of my reason for running is looking out across the country, and I'm as patriotic as be. I mean, the first thing that went up when I moved into my new home up in Beacon Hills was an American flag went up on the side of the house. I mean, I love this country, and Utah's amazing. And you kind of trickle down and you say, okay, there's a lot of craziness happening across the country right now. Where can I make an impact? And the best place to make an impact is municipal.
Do
love
that.
Right here. So.
Yeah. There's not much we can do about national problems. Very little we can do about statewide, really.
Totally.
But on a city basis, we can get to know people.
Yeah. And do the things that matter. You know, talk to people and say, what do you really care about? And you know, we've built a great city.
We have. City survey shows the Highland residents really love it here, and we love the lot sizes and the parks and all of that. I'm sure you've been following along what they've done with some of these orphan properties and open space. That's been a prickly situation.
It is a prickly situation. Do you want to talk about open space?
Not really. Do you want to talk about open space?
I don't know. One, yeah, that's a tough thing. And I lived in one of those open space neighborhoods, and now live in another one. Mm-hmm. And I'm in a unique situation where I wasn't aware of either one. I flat out asked in our new home if we had it, and they told me no.
Oh, really?
So that's an interesting. Everyone says, you go back to them and get it. And I said, yes, it's bigger than that.
Yeah.
So we have great open spaces. I think we got sold a bill of goods because we created false expectations. There's 18 open space neighborhoods out there, and nobody knows what to expect. I think the best reason is I am that person that understands. I'm still working. I'm still doing things every single day, trying to make ends meet and make sure I'm taking care of my wife and my family and my kids. I think that's important. You get people that are in different stages of life, and we have some different stages of life in there. We have some who don't have to work and some that are working a ton, and I think that's important. I'm that one that's still running every single day. I understand what it's like to need to make that sale or button that thing up and in order to make ends meet. Mm-hmm. This doesn't help with that, by the way. There's no
it's like $200 a month or something
like that, and that's got nothing to do with it, right? This is about protecting this community where we're raising our kids. Mm-hmm. So I hope that people that say, I'm too busy to care, will look and say, hey, there's one just like me. I grew up here. I want to keep Highland. I mean, there's a reason we have so many people loving it and coming here. And a lot of them don't know why, I think. They're just like, it's a beautiful community, let's change it. No,
there's some of that,
a little bit.
Yeah. So if people want to find out more about you or reach out to you, how is it that they find out more?
It's just colbygibson.com.
Okay. So. Go to colbygibson.com.
Absolutely.
All right, well, good luck to you. The grilling is over. I mean, this part of the grilling. The better part of the grilling is underway. Let's eat some carne asada. Woohoo! Yeah!
That's awesome. That is awesome. That is awesome.
Like that?
And very messy.
Yeah. Wait.
It's how it is.
Yeah.